Three, two, one. Hey guys, Boom Chicken here from Cynical Gaming, and today I'm going to talk about the live letter that went on August 8th, which was a couple days ago, considering today's the 10th. I know I was a little bit lazy with it, but I had a lot of stuff to do, especially with work. So without further ado, I'm going to try to get into this as fast as I can. A lot of the stuff I chose because I thought it was the coolest stuff that was, from this letter. So without further ado, let's get started. They started off the letter with the guys talking about fishing, and it wasn't a real Q&A session on that part. You just saw the people, you saw the characters fish and everything, and they got into the fishing log and how big. Was going into detail on how big biggest fish you caught, what bait you used, how long ago it was, etc., etc. That was really cool, but they also implemented and hinted that there's going to be sky fishing and desert fishing, which is going to be very weird to see, considering sky fishing, you're in sky in the desert, you're fishing in sand, so I don't know how that's going to work. But then within the first three questions or so, they started talking about the open beta. Open beta is going to launch August 16th through the 19th. Now, if you had gone to the registration website, I can't remember what it's called right now, if you had gone to there, they were saying August 17th, you can register as well. So those people who didn't register by the deadline are going to get in 16th through the 19th. Those who didn't register after the deadline are more than likely going to possibly be on the 17th through the 19th. Now, going more into open beta, they were also talking about level cap being level 20, which is good because you can get a good variety of stuff in. Get the feel of what class you really want to play. There are no restrictions, so I do believe, going to be able to shoot and capture gameplay footage for you guys. So I'm very excited about that. And all the data carries over unless there's a guild glitching bug. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm a little sick today. So unless there's a guild glitching bug to where you can get astronomically large amounts of gil, all your data is going to carry over. All of your weapons and all your items from beta phase 4 into early access and game date are going to be carried over. Good job, Square. Going into early access, the early access is going to start on the 24th and go to launch. Now, once launch date comes, they're not going to cancel anything. So they're going to be able to play 24th straight through. Once again, good job, Square. PS3, they are implementing screenshots now. Awesome, because on Final Fantasy XI on the PS2, you could do it. Why not on the PS3? Sweet. Then they start talking about the Arcanist class. Now, I have my notes here. Sorry, I'm going to be looking down at them a lot. Considering this isn't a screenshot video, I'm not going to be very professional about it, so I can give a damn. Arcanists available in beta phase 4. Yes, because I've been really wanting to play this class. I've been really wanting to test it out, the mechanics to it. And then they're also going into share more with Summoner and Scholar. Summoner being your main damage over time class from Arcanist, and Scholar being like a heal over time class, kind of like a Restro Druid was in World of Warcraft. With the pets, for all the classes, they're going to have a cross hotbar. So what that means, you can basically tell your pet what to do, or let them do whatever the hell they want. You can tell the pet where to go, where to stand, and essentially that kind of shit. So I thought that was really neat. Now this is one thing that kind of confused me in the live letter. Their attribute points have same points, meaning you either put into mind or intelligence. What this means, mind is your main healing focus, and intelligence is your main damage focus. So now, if you want to put once you hit level 50, you get 30 points to spend into any category you want. I assume for the job. If you want to put the 30 into mind, you're mainly going to be focusing on healing. If you want to put the 30 into intelligence, you're going to mainly focus on DPS. So if you decide to go from Scholar to Summoner, you're not going to get the extra 30 attribute points. If you go from Summoner to Scholar, you're not going to need the 30 extra Mind points that you want to put in. So you can balance it out if you want, but I don't see the point in that. And I don't really see the big deal of it either, considering it's just 30 points. Later game, not going to be much difference. You're hardly going to notice it. Scholar is going to be more of a heal and support class. So basically, they're going to have kind of like HOTS. If you don't know what HOTS are, they're heals over time. And they're also, with their HOTS, they're going to introduce buffs, or implement buffs onto the party. Thought that was really cool. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be almost a necessary class for every raid you do. Let's see here. Legacy or 1.0 players, Legacy or 1.0 meaning they played since the original Final Fantasy XIV, will be able to PvP if they are level 30. The level cap is 20. But if you are a Legacy or 1.0 player and participate in beta phase 4 or 3 or before, and you have a level 30 tune, you're going to be able to chest out the PvP. I thought that was cool, but it did suck for the people that are new to the game. Kind of like how I'm going to be new to the game, considering I only played for 3 weeks in 14. And I don't remember any of my information to get my account back. So, but we'll go into payment methods right now. You can get a game time card. You can pay with your credit card. Or you can pay with these Christia points, which I'm not really certain what they are. Essentially, from what I understood, you can prepay a certain time amount, and then whatever you have left over can carry over. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, because I have no idea what that is. But going into more of the customer service, character transferring, or also known as XIVing, will be open 3 weeks after launch. And you can transfer one character to 8 characters to almost any world, I think. Of course, it's going to cost more the more characters you want to transfer, because it's more work they're going to have to do. So I thought that was actually decent timing, considering if you don't like the world you're on, you give it a couple weeks, and then if you don't like it, switch over to someone else. Legacy players are going to only be able to go onto Legacy servers, while everyone else can transfer to basically whatever they want. That's the understanding I'm under. There's going to be a smartphone app. Kind of like the World of Warcraft army. This one's going to be called Libra Erosia, which I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I don't care. And essentially, it's going to be like a WoW armory, so you can see your stats, see other people's stats, but you're also going to be able to see like quest lines, quest items. You get, what else was there? A whole bunch of other stuff. You see kind of like the gear that drops out of the dungeons and raids and whatnot. So I thought that was really cool. I'm an Android user, so this is going to suck for everybody that uses Android, but a plus for everybody that uses an Apple product. It's going to launch on iOS first, 1 week after launch. For the Android users, it's going to be 3 weeks to a month. It's not that much longer, but it still sucks. 1 week after launch as well, they're going to be introducing a holiday event. I think it's going to be kind of like WoW's Midsummer Festival. You can do a whole bunch of random quest lines and whatnot to get like gear that looks silly and participate in a bunch of stuff. And then after that point, they decided to take a small break and show gameplay footage of a bestiary. Now, they showed off a lot of the old monsters, but you will see here on my notes, because I'm going to show you the notes real quick, why I'm so giddy about this. I honestly am. If you can see that, right there, the biggest thing on this piece of paper, Tonberry and King Tonberry. Yes. At 1.0 they didn't have it, which was a little disappointing to I know a lot of the Final Fantasy players, because Tonberry is a signature icon of the Final Fantasy games. But they implemented Tonberry's going to be regular mobs, and I'm assuming, don't quote me, don't get me wrong, I hope they do this, but don't be mad if they don't. King Tonberries, I'm hoping is going to be a raid boss in the Great Labyrinth of Bahamut or the Crystal Tower, which we're about to get into right now. Speaking of the Great Labyrinth of Bahamut and Primal battles. Primal battles are the ones you're going to be going against, like Ifrit and Garuda and Ramu, I think. Rama, something like that. I don't know, Lightning Dude. Those Primal battles are going to be slightly different in Beta Phase 4 and into Early Access into launch. You're not going to notice a whole bunch, but for people like me that haven't done it, you're not going to notice a thing that's different because you've never done it before. But Beta Phase 3 and before, you're going to notice a slight difference, not too much, not too drastic. Maybe another ability or two per each. Well, that's basically it for the Primal battles. They do get an extreme mode, but we'll go into that here in a bit. Great Labyrinth of Bahamut is an 8-man raid, and is going to be the hardest content in the game. Now, they also introduced the Crystal Tower into this. Crystal Tower from Final Fantasy III, Japanese version if I remember correctly, was near the end, and you get this big tower full of bosses. It was ridiculously hard, and is also, if I do remember correctly, considered the Mage's Tower in Final Fantasy VI, which is the American version. Was actually, pretty hard too. It was fun. But going back to the Great Labyrinth of Bahamut, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's going to be the hardest content. 8-man raid. So basically, you're going to maybe have 2 tanks, 2 healers, 4 DPS, and you could probably swap out a healer for DPS or another DPS for healer, or whatever you need, when the time comes. Excuse me. They also hinted of a boss, which I'm super excited for. They didn't say anything, they just hinted. Of a boss that going to have to split damage evenly into 2 groups of 4, if I remember correctly, and it's going to do 10,000 damage split evenly. What does that mean? Giant Cactuar. I'm super excited. That one's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be ridiculous. But going on to the Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower is going to be a 24-man raid. So meaning you're going to have 3 full groups of 8-person parties. But the directors are saying that the content for it was just not that difficult. So they adjusted it so everyone can have fun. What does that mean? They either nerfed it or they got a significant increase. So I doubt that is going to be increased in difficulty. So what I'm thinking is going to be nerfed a little bit. But they also implemented it into Duty Finder, which is going to be potentially in 2.1, which is going to be after the launch. Maybe, a couple months after. But going back into the extreme modes, there's going to be extreme mode for all Primal fights. What does this mean? When you go through it during the storyline, which is, I think you start either at 20, you're going to have them on easy mode. Once you hit level 50, you're going to start wanting to gear up for raids. You're going to have to fight him on hard mode. Same, doing be different mechanics, more HP. And then, once you get geared, and before you probably head into the 24-man Crystal Tower raid, it's going to be an extreme mode you're going to want to do. The extreme mode meaning it's going to be absolutely astronomically ridiculous. So, I thought that was really cool. And then, they got into mounts. They're going to have, your regular chocobo mount, which is common. So excited for that. You're going to have Magic Tech Armor from Final Fantasy VI. Thought that was awesome. Love the Magic Tech Armor. But they also announced of a unicorn mount. Now, this is one of the things I'm kind of skeptical about, because it's a unicorn. It's a freaking unicorn. I don't know if they copied it from My Little Pony, or if they got it from Final Fantasy. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm kind of in the flip-flop between it. I'll wait till I can see it, and then I'll see it. Then I'll, have a official judgment on it, if you want to call it that. Rare weapon appearances, meaning that it's going to be kind of like the Excalibur thing. Throughout certain points of the game, I think you're going to have a chance to basically replicate your weapon that you currently have into an older Final Fantasy weapon. What does this mean? If you are playing like a greatsword class, which they haven't implemented anything on that one yet, which I think they will implement come 3.0, which is going to be the next expansion, which will hopefully be the Dark Knight. It could be like Cloud's busted sword or his ultimate weapon, or it could be someone who uses the fist, kind of like Riku's from Final Fantasy X, her God Hands for the monk class. So I thought that was really cool. And they also went into hard mode difficulties. Hard mode difficulties meaning heroic dungeons if you ever played World of Warcraft. But they're also going to be slightly different. They're also going to have different bosses. The layouts might be somewhat different, so I thought that was really cool. Now, one of the things I also wanted to get into was the PvP. Since the level cap's only 20 in the beta phase 4, most of the people are not going to be able to test it. But they also went into a little small bit of detail about the PvP. PvP sits on an island where Meteor landed near the end of the Era trailer. If you haven't checked the trailer out, check it out. It was really cool. Bahamut just went and, God, he just destroyed everything. Watch for yourself. It was a really cool trailer. But they also went into a whole bunch of like guild or like roster system to see who was like the best like PvPer on your server, who's done the most damage, who's done the most healing, etc. Stuff like that. Stuff that I thought was really cool that I never seen in World of Warcraft. But here's the downside of it. It's not going to be launched into 2.1. So what does that mean? That means it's not going to be right off rip. Once you get the game, you're not going to be able to start PvPing. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to level the character, find your feel for it, and then probably about 2, maybe 3 months down the line, 2.1 will come out, and finally we'll be able to go into this Coliseum. I'm actually really pumped. I want to try their PvP, considering I did love like the arena feels to World of Warcraft. It was just deathmatch. I do like to capture the objective games like Capture the Flag, but I really want to see their PvP. For your PC players out there, add-ons will not be implemented at launch. It's going to be roughly 6 to 8 months down the line. Now, a lot of people are saying that they're not going to really need add-ons for this game, which I do see yes, and I do see no why. Yes, because a lot of people don't want to be that elitist jerkbag, or have that elitist jerkbag tell them that their DPS or their healing sucks. A lot of people don't want that because, you have an add-on, you're going to have a DPS meter, DPS and healing meter. And so I can see why, but I also want to see, different people's add-on inputs for the game, like a different map layout or a different, like, auction house way to get your stuff onto the auction house. Stuff like that. I really want to see stuff like that. But I also don't want to see a bunch of people get, knocked on for them not being able to play that class, right? But hey, it's a game. Play however you want to play it. They did mention of an item change appearance maybe coming down later with the game, maybe in the 3.0, which could be an expansion, or expansions later than that. I'm glad they're doing that, because I don't want to see people just, automatically transmog their stuff from this level 50 stuff and then all the way, go back to level 20 weapon that they like better. But they also implemented the veteran status. Veteran status means rewards players. I'm saying this word for word off my notes. Rewards players who stay subscribed for longer periods of time. What does this mean? The people who, for example, play for subscribe for 30 days. Get this little wind-up cursor. That little cursor guy see on your computer, the thing that you click stuff with. That's gonna for the game. It's gonna end up as a wind-up cursor, and it's gonna be a little tiny minion. I thought that was really cool. And then also for 30 days, this file of Fantasia. This file of Fantasia, if you don't like the way your character looked, if you don't like it, you could change their appearance one time, and that's it. So if you didn't like your hair one time, you better get it right this time. Otherwise, you're going to have to start over. 60 days, they're going to give you a Cascader uniform voucher. What does this mean? It's kind of like the mid-fire summer quest line items, like armor and whatnot you can get. And they're also going to give you a black chocobo chick minion. So I thought that was really cool. I love chocobos, especially the black chocobos. 90 days. You're going to get an Arimanai, aka Beady Eye, as a minion pet. Thought that was cool. And then you're also going to get a Void Scent Sorry, my handwriting's crap. Resignator, which is going to be an Ariman mount. So it's really interesting to see how you're going to fit on a giant eyeball with wings. But the longer you play, the more stuff you get. So they'll probably do something for 120 days, 150 days, 180 days, maybe an entire year. Who knows? If you want to play that long, I can't wait for you to see how much you're going to spend on that. But they also ended on talking about another live letter on the 27th, which is the launch date. I do believe so. So there are a lot of stuff I was really impressed with and a lot of stuff I was disappointed with. I did think that the rating should be a little bit more implemented heavier, especially with the Great Labyrinth Bahamut, because I really want to see that turn into a 24-man raid as well. I'm hoping that does happen. And same with Crystal Tower, maybe an 8-man raid, but I doubt that's going to happen. The PvP I wish was initialized at launch, but 2.1 is not going to be that much further down the line. So if you liked this video, please like, favorite, subscribe, and share with your friends. We're finally starting to get more hits on the video, so our previous video, I should say. So I thought that was really awesome. You guys are doing an amazing job getting our word out there. And if you liked it, keep watching. We'll have more videos for you guys, not only on Final Fantasy 14 stuff, but we'll have it on more Call of Duty stuff too, and whatever games you want us to play. I know I'm excited for Watch Dogs as well, but we'll get into this in a different video. From here at Cynical Gaming, Boom Chicken, I'll see you guys later.